As the evening rolled around, we saw a perfect example of cloud convection. You see it pulling all that moisture from one area off towards the west, shaping up for a beautiful sunset, and we're on our way down towards the 60s. Now, we're going to be cooling off pretty strong as this high pressure settles in from the north, but as that cloud cover cleared up, it allowed us to shoot right up into those 90s from those mid-60s last night, and we're cooling off pretty quickly right now down into those mid-70s. Now, we have about 10 more degrees to go, but this time last year, we were 10 degrees warmer, setting a record at 103. Now, that's not too hot where Brian's from, but right now 76 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in those 70s right now, looking for 10 degrees. It's definitely not out there. 79 in Sterling City, 78 down there in Junction, looking like a pretty close grouping of 70s across the entire Concho Valley. While the humidity indices haven't gone anywhere from earlier this afternoon, still in those 60s for the dew points, if not a few 70s, while the humidity indices might be up about 20% in those 70s from earlier when we were hanging out in those 50s, but it's about to dry out as all that moisture gets pulled off towards the east from this upper level pattern. We're watching Helene finally make its approach. Then it circles with that cutoff low. It lingers around the Mississippi River Valley for a little while, then pushes off towards the east, and we see that high pressure settle in with some cooler temperatures. Now, it's giving my model a little bit of a hard time, so some of those temperatures are leveling out in those 80s. Hopefully it holds true and we don't see any more warm weather with that high pressure. This long wave trough is finally pushing down a semi-stationary front. That's where we're seeing some of that afternoon thunderstorm activity. But every eye right now is on the west coast for the next plunge in temperatures while we watch this wrapping around of moisture take aim somewhere around Kentucky. Now the moisture tracker is watching the concentrations of orange really sort of take aim at Perry, Florida, but we're going to watch it wrap around with this pocket of dry air. That'll lift more moisture up near Illinois, and things are set to get a little bit more heavy in that region. Severe weather outlook really just targeting parts of Oklahoma, but we see the Concho Valley in that marginal risk, and then it gets a little bit more severe as we move off towards the east. But we'll talk about Helene while she's out there, slated to become a hurricane by about tomorrow. Still moving north at about 10 miles per hour, so it's slowing down as it could see some more of that warmer weather. But of course, we're looking at those winds pick up to about 60 miles per hour, and they're slated to reach about 100 by the time it reaches Florida as a Category 3. Now, when we take you into the Concho Valley, we're seeing that it's showing up on the satellite with this organization, and right behind it would be Hurricane John. That's pulling all that moisture down from the north and heading it off towards the east. Clouds are already starting to reflect that. Now, when we look at the futurecast, we're on the lookout for a couple more storms tonight, and then by tomorrow morning, watching again those strong winds from the north cause a little bit of thunderstorm activity around Tom Green County, then push out and fizzle out by that lunchtime. Then things sort of clear up for the rest of the day, and I really want you to draw your attention towards Hurricane Helene. When it becomes one, you're going to watch it keep everything dry and calm in the Concho Valley. As that storm head starts to fight its way back in, that cold front will push down from the Sierra Madres, if not the Rocky Mountains, and hold it off. But you can see what will be left of Hurricane John is fueling this storm from the south as that dry air lifts it up and continues to aim somewhere around Tennessee. Going to be pretty dynamic for the next couple of days. So tonight, down into those 60s, still on the lookout for some of those thunderstorms. Then tomorrow, a little bit of a soggy start. Then things are going to clear up, so we'll see that humidity as we warm up near those 80s, and that's going to be the case as those strong winds from the north keep us in those mid-80s all week long, shaping up for a great Friday night football. As the weekend rolls around, we're getting closer towards October, and we're still holding on to those cool temperatures while those overnight lows push all the way down into those upper 50s. Stay tuned. I'll more for the break. You're watching KSAN News at